Hello, I'm Todd Hall, President and CEO of TruLiant. As we mark our 70th anniversary in 2022, we reflect on a rich history that would not be possible without the support of the great city of Winston-Salem. From our humble beginnings in 1952 to the present, where we will soon serve over 300,000 members, hire our 1,000th employee, and exceed $4 billion in assets, to a future poised for continued growth. I am proud of the work we are doing together. TruLiant is grateful for and remains committed to Winston-Salem and all of Forsyth County.
Welcome to the Greater Conversations podcast. I'm Deetra Miller, the Director of Member Relations and Engagement at Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. We'll use this platform to showcase our local businesses, our community, and their stories. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. It is my pleasure today to introduce you to Miss Wyomie Watson.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And you are the owner of RubyG's Buttercream Sensations. I love it. Thank you. And also for everyone listening, our co-host today is our very own Jody Edwards, our business support manager at Greater Winston-Salem. Thank you for joining me today.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. Fantastic. So,
Hey, I'm here too.
how can I forget about you, Tim?
You don't forget. Well, last night you forgot about me, but it's okay.
Oh, that's a whole different story. We can talk about that later. But everyone listening in the background, we also have our wonderful producer, Tim Beeman, owner of Such and Such Media, where we record our podcasts. So thank you, Tim, for everything you do. We really appreciate it.
It usually just goes without saying, and I was just being facetious today.
It's one of those days.
We're going to get to the nitty gritty because it's a food day, and we have cake in front of us. And this cake is from RubyG's Buttercream Sensations. And I've made the mistake before, Wyomie, of calling you Ruby G, but you're not
problem.
Ruby G. Talk about Ruby G.
Ruby G. Well, Ruby G was put together because we were giving honor to my grandmother, whose name was Ruby, and to my mother's, whose name was Gaynell.
Okay.
So we decided to just honor both of them because my grandmother is the one who truly inspired me as a young lady when she baked. And, back in the day when they baked, they didn't use what we use now, those things called measuring cups and measuring spoons. My grandmother always measured in her hand, and it always amazed me how she would just measure with her hands and cup her palms and just went to work.
Wow.
And everything just seemed to come together, and the cakes were amazing. The banana puddings were amazing. The biscuits were amazing. So that kind of just inspired me as I continue to just bake.
I love that. I love that. Now, you didn't start out your career as a baker. In fact, you worked for our wonderful Forsyth County government, right?
I sure did. I worked for Forsyth County for 20 years. I retired from the Department of Social Services back in 2018.
Wow.
Yes, 20 years.
20 years. That's a long time.
20 years.
A lot of commitment. So what made you decide to go from that career into a career of baking?
I don't know. Well, I was baking at home, which I normally do. And my husband and I were sitting down after a weekend, and we decided, well, you know what? Let's see what happens. So I baked up a bunch of goods, and he took them to work, and he dispersed them to all of his coworkers. And everybody liked it. Everybody was like, how can we get this, or can we order that? And we kind of just started from there. We started our home base in October of 2019.
Wow.
So we just celebrated 3 years of being in business.
Congratulations.
So you have recently moved into a storefront where you had a kiosk before, correct?
Yes.
Do you find that has been more challenging, or has it opened up more doors for you?
Both. When we left our home, we went into a kiosk and Marketplace Mall. We were there for about a year and a half. August of this year, we did our grand opening at 667 Peters Creek Parkway. It has presented both the challenge with regards to letting the community know that we are here, because there has been a food desert for a while. So just getting out and letting the community know that they have a bakery in the area. And I love the fact that we're storefront, as when people ride by, they're able to see us now, whereas when we were in the kiosk, we weren't able to draw the attention that we're able to draw now. So we love being out there where people can see us and we can interact.
Love that. Love that. And the celebration was so awesome when you opened up that storefront. So some of the things that I really liked were the fact that you had so many cakes on display. So as soon as you walked through the door, you could see all of the different varieties, as well as cupcakes, as well as cookies. You also serve coffee, and you have a ton of space. So talk a little bit about how you're using the space right now.
Okay, recently we decided that we would lease the space out. So if anybody wants to have an intimate gathering with just friends or family, they can come in and rent the space out. If you have a child that would like to have a little small intimate birthday party, you can rent the space out for that. If you want to do a paint and sip, you can rent it out for that. So we decided to do that. We're getting ready to do a reface, because we want our customers to feel comfortable. We want to kind of bridge the gap between the bakery and the coffee shop. So we want them to be able to come in, get cake, coffee, sit down, relax, and just vibe.
Love that. Love that. Now, again, you have a variety of different cakes. I believe Jody's favorite cake is the banana pudding.
Well, it's a tie. Because at the grand opening, she also had that whole display full of cupcakes. I am a red velvet person, and there was a red velvet cupcake that I got my hands on.
You and me, sister.
It was, you have to go and get you a red velvet cupcake, because it was fantastic. Now, the banana pudding cake, I have never even heard of such a thing until the grand opening, and I believe someone had walked in and was like, "Banana pudding cake." I've been looking. I think it was the mayor.
It was Mayor Joynes.
Oh, Mayor Joynes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I was like, well, I've got to try it. So I did. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Like, I am not a big sweets person, but now when I go, my immediate is like banana pudding cake, red velvet, and I'm like over here drooling looking at the pound cake sitting in front of me. So
Hey, so those microphones are kind of expensive. Don't get your drool all over.
I'm not promising anything.
Matter of fact, a little while after that, Mayor Joynes' wife called and ordered the banana pudding cake for
Really?
his birthday. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that.
I love that. Okay, so your cakes can be ordered for birthdays or
Yes.
just every day, or do you do wedding cakes as well?
Yes, we do themed cakes, birthday cakes, just your originals, home scratch Southern pound cakes. We do pies as well. We do treats. We do our cookies. Currently, we have a kitchen sink cookie. We have a bourbon pecan cookie. And we also have a red velvet cream cookie, which is a cream.
Jody's like,
cream
you're
cookie."
torturing me. The look on Tim's face when you mentioned bourbon.
Tim and I are looking at each other like, know where we're going after this.
As you can tell over here, I'm quite a fan of alcohol.
It's okay. We put it in a cookie.
Wow. So what is the lead time on any of the theme cakes?
So I
if
can have
anybody-
my bourbon and eat it
And
too.
you
Well,
can eat it too.
There you go.
Sure can.
But yeah, what's the lead time on a themed cake if somebody wants to have one for their child's birthday or for a wedding?
For a themed cake, we at least like to have at least a 2-week notice. For any general cake, the least a week. For wedding cakes, that's a whole different ball game. Because we need to consult. We need to find out what your vision is, where you know how we could tie it all together. So with a wedding cake, we would at least 2 to 3 months.
I love that. I mean, it's not cookie cutter. You actually
No.
sit down with
Yes.
the bride and groom and talk about what their vision is and consult with them.
Absolutely.
Very
and we
nice.
offer tastings as well with our wedding cakes.
Oh, just like in the Hallmark movie.
Or the Gilmore Girls.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's back up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Wyomie. Did you grow up in Winston-Salem?
Yes. Born and reared here. Yes.
Thank you for saying that. You raise crops. You rear children.
I was reared here. Yes.
Just that southern thing. Okay, reared here. What made you decide to stay in Winston-Salem? Of course, you had your 20-year career with Forsyth County, but you could have started RubyG's anywhere.
Family.
Okay.
Family roots tied here. My mom was raised here. Her mom, Tobaccoville. So we're just connected here with roots. So just stayed.
I love that.
I am also from Winston from the very beginning, so I don't want to go anywhere else. I love it here. I love it here.
Yeah. That's one thing I like about Winston, that the people. Once they get to know who you are and you know who they are, the loyalty is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Well, speaking of the people, you're very community oriented.
Yes.
Share with everyone listening a little bit of how you give back to the community.
Well, we have partnered with Pivot Ministries, which is a part of the Ardmore Church here in Winston-Salem. They have a 16-week program that they offer to low-income women, older women that don't have children. So once they complete the program, they graduate and they allow them to have classes that just help them to be able to thrive at home. Mm-hmm. So I've partnered with them and I taught a baking class.
Oh, really?
Yes, without the mixing bowls. So we had to go in and teach the women how to just mix up cakes and to decorate them with a Ziploc bag.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
That's
it
amazing.
was really fun. They thought that I was blessing them, but they truly blessed me.
Oh,
It's funny how it works out like that, isn't it?
It was amazing. I really loved it. And my husband has connected with Love Out Loud Ministry. They have a recycle program where they get donated bikes, and they have volunteers that come in and repair those bikes, and then they in turn give the bikes out.
Wow.
So they give them out to needy children. So my husband has partnered with them with that, and we've partnered with Brenner's Children's Hospital.
Really? Talk about that.
I meet with Jolene, and what we do is donate when they have programs up in Cone Hills in Greensboro, and when they have programs here in Winston-Salem. So we just donate some of our treats to them as well.
Oh, wow.
They
That's
have a
pretty
house,
awesome.
a kitchen, I believe, if there are parents who have had children that have to stay in the hospital. So what I wanted to do is just offer a little treat to the parents who may be stressing or going through whatever they're going through with their children being in the hospital. Because one of my grandchildren was preemie and she had to stay in the hospital a while. So just give the parents something, or just a little treat to just kind of make their day, to bring a little sweet smile.
That is beautiful.
Hey, Jody.
I know. I was thinking about what she was saying with her grandmother, just measuring with her hands. And if I do not have precise measurements in front of me, I cannot cook anything. Like, I'm like leveling off the teaspoons. I'm like, it said teaspoon and you're getting a teaspoon, because I'm not a cook. And so I find it fascinating that somebody can just look at stuff and just throw it in a bowl and it turns out good. And I'm like, that's fantastic. I cannot do that.
Well, see, I can do that if it's not baking. If it's just cooking something, I can do that. But to me, cooking is an art. Baking is a science. And it has to be exact. Because if it's not exact, something's not going to be right.
Yeah.
With cooking, okay, well, I can cover that up with a little more oregano or blah, 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 but, or more butter. But
makes everything
baking, you know, I made these bread bowls for this Malawian-based dish when I was doing this country spinner thing. And the recipe was wrong, but I followed the recipe. The flavor of this bread was fantastic, but it was so dense because they had me put so much extra of this thing because the recipe was written wrong. So whenever I went to dig it out to have the bowl left, it was like, it was never ending. It just kept coming out.
Oh, wow.
But it was delicious.
That's all that really matters, I guess.
But it was heavy. I mean, I made 6 of them at once, and picking up the tray, I almost broke my wrist. Yeah, paperweights there in the oven.
Well, what inspires some of the flavors that you come up with for your cakes and pies?
Grandchildren, of course.
Really?
Grandchildren. If they like it, it's a hit.
What's the latest one you've come up with?
Well, RubyG is now offering deep fried cinnamon rolls.
Deep fried?
Say what now?
Yes, sir. Deep fried cinnamon rolls. And you could top it. They're made to order, and you could top it how you like it. We got strawberry, mixed berry, caramel, pecans. When I tell you, it is wonderful. It's wonderful.
My mouth is wide open right now because I can't believe that's a thing.
It's
That's
a new
amazing.
thing. It's a new thing.
See, and cinnamon rolls is right up there with red velvet. And so now I don't even know what to do over here.
We might as well just work from RubyG's from now on.
We can't. Our laptops, and we'll just go in
And
there.
you do
and just
know we
sit.
offer lunch sandwiches as well.
Okay, so like what?
We offer ham. We offered carved chicken. And you can get that on a croissant with provolone cheese, lettuce, and tomato. And we offer hoagies where you can get the carved chicken, ham, and sandwich pepperoni. And you get that with provolone cheese and lettuce and tomato.
Okay, what about our vegans out there? What do you have?
Vegans, we do offer vegan desserts.
Okay.
Yes.
What are the? Hey, come on. Share what the vegan desserts are.
Vanilla
Please.
pop, the vegan vanilla cupcakes. And I do lemon vegan cupcakes as well.
Excellent. Thank you. I know vegan may not be everybody's cup of tea, but
I have had the orders.
If never mind, I'm going to be nice to the
you
vegans.
would be surprised at how
You would
good some vegan
It really
items
is.
Oh, that's
are.
not it. It's the principle of it all.
Oh, okay.
You don't deserve to eat good food.
We make it good.
Absolutely.
I'm totally kidding.
Absolutely.
I've had some very good vegan food that I added meat to, but it was very good.
It's different, but it's good.
Yeah. Teacher doesn't even know what to say because I'll eat anything that had a mother, right?
That really doesn't sound the best. So we're going to move from that and talk about the co-founder of RubyG's, your wonderful husband.
My husband, he's the talker, yes.
Is he from Winston-Salem as well?
He is from Winston as well, yes.
Okay, perfect. So when you shared with him that you really wanted to go into this full time, what was his reaction to that?
He is my support. Like I said, I had retired and I had started working part-time somewhere else, and that just wasn't where I wanted to be. So again, we decided that we would try this, and he was okay with it. And he was okay with me leaving my job, and he was okay with me doing this full-time. And he has been my backbone.
That's awesome.
You
Love
could
that.
see it in his face at the grand opening. He was so happy to be there. He was just beaming from ear to ear.
He's
just
proud.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell that he is a huge supporter of what you guys have
I
going on.
can't do it without him.
That's so important.
That is
so
awesome.
important. I love that. I love that. What is in the future for RubyG's? What do you see in the next 5 years?
We have a family that comes up from Mocksville every other week to get our treats. Their desire is to see a second location in their area. So we are praying about this thing. I told them we're praying, and if we decide to come look, we may go expand that direction.
That sounds awesome.
I would
There are some
love to
good
see.
people in Mocksville, really are. And, you know, there's a pretty good chamber down there, too. We'll get you connected.
Excellent. I would love to
Yeah.
see us expand.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I've lived in Winston, I drove through Mocksville for the very first time a couple weeks ago on the way to one of my daughter's matches. It is beautiful. That little
Yes.
town is absolutely gorgeous. I was like, why have I never been to Mocksville before?
Yes.
But, you know, at Clemens and out Louisville, I've
Yeah.
been 100
All of
times,
our
but I've just
sister
never been
cities.
down to Mocksville
Yeah.
before. And now we're planning a day to go
To Mock.
just visit Mocksville. It was just so pretty.
Yeah. And I just love the fact that you've got a family from Mocksville that purposely makes the trip to come to Winston-Salem to RubyG's
He really does.
because it's so good.
Thank you.
It is so good.
Also, our future. My grandson loves to cook. He's into baking. He's 14 years old, and he's already started a baking class in high school.
Really?
He's getting ready to get into culinary, and I told him he has 5 years to get it together because I'm ready to put him in position.
That's awesome.
RubyG's was also founded because the Bible says to lay up for your children's children. So I'm laying up for my grandchildren. He's the oldest. So I'm going to be ready when he's ready to put him in position to do what he got to do.
I love that. I love that. Well, for everyone listening, if they want to stop by RubyG's, tell them the location. And if they're interested in going online to order something, where do they need to go?
Okay, we are located at 667 Peters Creek Parkway. We're right up from Volvo, right next to the Beauty World. You can reach us at 336-331-3848. You can find us on Facebook at RubyG's Buttercream Sensations, as well as Instagram and TikTok.
You're on the TikTok.
We're on the
What?
TikTok, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I try.
That's awesome.
Apparently, you just get on there and dance.
Yeah,
So,
I hadn't gotten that far yet.
And lip sync.
yes, lip syncing and
Have
dancing.
some of the cakes dancing and the cookies dancing. That's great. Great selling tool. Well, Wyomie, thank you so much for being here. And is there anything that we didn't touch on today that you would like to share with everybody listening?
No, just come visit us and taste our buttercream, and you will understand why we're called Buttercream Sensations. All of our icing is made in-house. We do not use that American buttercream.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And Jody, thank you for co-hosting today.
It was fun.
It was fun. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. And for everyone listening, until next time. We know you enjoyed this podcast today, so join us for the next episode of Greater Conversations. By the way, you can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Be sure to smash that subscribe button. Also, be sure to visit our website at winstonsalem.com. The views and opinions stated in this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our sponsors, distributors, or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. or your toast.